So in our last video, we looked at compound interest, and just a refresher, the basic definition I give for this is the exponential growth that occurs as interest continues to build upon itself, and it follows that exponential trend line like that. So in this video, what we're going to learn is how to do these calculations using a compound interest calculator, so you can make these calculations nice, quick, and easy. So remember in the last video, this is how the process of compound interest works. That if you have 1,000 invested yearly, growing at a rate of 10% per year, we had this table with the previous year value, the total value, the interest rate, and the new account value with our yearly investments going in this column right here. And so again, I'm going to run through this part very quickly and just show you the process. And if this is not making sense, I would go watch the previous video. But this is how the algorithm of compound interest works. So again, you start at year one, and then you're going to add the previous year value, which gives you the total value, multiply it by the interest rate, and that's going to give you your new account value. Then you take that new account value, plug it in right here, add these two, that equals that, multiply by the interest rate. And that's going to give you your new account value, which again is growing by more. And then you're going to take that 2310 and plug it in right there, add it to the yearly investment, gives you the total value, multiply that by the interest rate, and then that's going to give you this here. And again, this process you would just keep doing infinitely. So I'm not going to fill out the rest of it. Let's move on and look at our real world example from last time, and we can see this exponential growth occur. So we looked at if we're going to invest $2,500 into a general stock fund every year for 45 years, and our estimated interest rate was 5%. And again, this gives you a visual look at the exponential account growth. So again, $2,500 a year for 45 years with average of 5% estimated interest each year. And so our graph, we got the money in account is going to be in the y-axis and the years invested on the x-axis, and this is how it is on compound interest calculators too. So our blue is the amount invested, and so that would be right here. If that gains 0 interest, that's what you would have in your account. But if it's gaining an estimated 5% per year, it gains all this interest, which would be in red, and you can see the exponential growth where it gets more and more and more. And the yellow line would be the average account value over this period. And then the pink line would be the actual account value if you actually were to mark it, because it's not always in one straight line. It's going to be up, down, but that's the trend line it would follow. And again, remember the key here with understanding interest is to know the difference between the red and the blue. So if we pull the red apart from the blue, as you look very early on, there's not much red, but the more you keep investing, it just becomes absolutely exponential, where you can see that near the end of it, the red line is almost triple of that blue line. So you're just gaining more and more interest each year. So what we're going to do now is we're actually going to learn how to make these compound interest calculations using the NerdWallet compound interest calculator. And so we're going to make some of these calculations instant, versus if you have to plug into that algorithm, it will take a long time. However, the beauty of the modern day is we can actually program algorithms into computers and they can do it instantly for us. So what we're going to do is look at 3 examples, and we're going to use the NerdWallet compound interest calculator to figure out what the total account will be at the end, what the interest is, and what the principal is. So let's jump in and look at these examples. So we're in the NerdWallet compound interest calculator. And again, there's a bunch of different ones. I think this one is the most user-friendly. That's why we're using this one. If you find another one you want to use, you can use that one. It doesn't really matter, but this one is in the quiz. So this is the one that you can just click and it will take you here. So we're going to look at these 3 examples, and we're going to use this compound interest calculator to figure out how much money will be at the end of these designated periods. And let's start with example 1. So example 1 is the one we were just using. So Michael is investing $2,500 per year with an estimated interest rate of 5% annual return. And if you don't know what annual means, it just means per year. So whenever you see annual, think per year. And then the question, after 45 years, how much money will be in his account? So all we have to do is fill out these fields right here on this column, and it's going to give us our answer right over here on the right. And notice, again, they separate it by a different color than I did, but notice the difference between the principal value, which is the amount invested, and the total interest, which is going to be in green. And again, right now it's there's no green because look at the estimated rate of return right here or the interest rate is 0. So like I said, if there's 0 interest, there won't be any green. The green will be based off interest. So let's do this now. And again, $2,500 per year. So always look and see what is the time period, how long, and then what is the rate. So initial deposit. So it says he's investing $2,500 per year. That means if it doesn't tell you there's an initial deposit, you can just put that at 0. So that's like saying how much is starting in the account. So we're going to delete that and put the initial deposit at 0. The contribution amount again is $2,500. So we're going to put $2,500. And again, this is key right here. You want this to be annually. Make sure you read what it's saying. Is it per month or per year? And in these problems, you're going to get, it's going to vary. Most of them are per year, but always double check. And then $2,500 per year is this one. So I want to change that to annual. And then the investment time span is 45 years. So I got 45 years. And then this is the key. Again, 5% interest rate. So our estimated rate of return, we want to put that, just delete all of that and just type 5. And this is also key. Compound frequency. Again, always do it annually. There's no realistic scenario where it does it monthly, so always do annually. And it doesn't change it all that much. So click annually, and again, just double check. So we got no additional deposit, $2,500 per year. So per year means annually. How much will it be after 45 years? 5% interest rate, and always compounding annually. So let's look over here. In 45 years, you'll have $399,250. And if you click each column here, it will tell you how much you'll have in each year. So in our last year here, as you can see, $112,000 will be principal and $286 will be interest. So the green right here is a lot more than that principal. Let's see what would have happened if we were getting 0 or we just put it into a savings account. Then again, you wipe out all of that green. So let's move on to example 2. So Caitlin put in an initial deposit of $7,500 into an investment account. After that, she plans on putting in $2,000 per year. How much money, again, this is a key, how much interest will she have made after 30 years? So you're not looking for total, you're looking for the interest. So let's plug all this in. So in this case, it does give you an initial deposit of $7,500. $7,500. After that, she plans on putting in $2,000 per year. So we want to change the contribution amount to $2,000 and per year, which is annually. And then the question: how much interest will she have made after 30 years? So our time span is 30 years. Our interest rate. Oh, we didn't give it interest rate. Let's type one out here. Interest rate of 3%. Let's say she's buying some bonds at 3%. Interest rate at 3%. So we're going to change that to 3%. And annually, so again, after 30 years, the total account with these metrics will have $113,000 in it. However, we're looking for the interest, the total interest, which is in green. And so in this case, it says principal is first. So the principal, which is blue, is $67,500, and the interest is $45,855. So just make sure when you're answering these questions, if it's asking for interest and not total account value, you know which one you're looking at. And again, interest is the green, and in this case, it's always the bottom one that they show. So let's look at example 3, our last one. Caleb put in an initial deposit of $20,000 into an investment account. So we're going to go $20,000 was the initial deposit. He is choosing a high risk account that is hoping to gain an estimated return of 12% per year. So we can skip down estimated return of 12% per year, which is very high. However, because of the high risk nature of the account, the manager warns him that he could only make 2% per year on the low end. So we'll deal with that in a second. But first, let's focus on his 12. So what is the account value range that Cable will have depending on the risks that go against him? And let's say it's a time frame of 20 years. All right, so we're going to put 20 years right here. And let's just make sure we got everything. So we got 20,000 into the initial deposit, choosing a high risk account at 12% per year. And we also, there's no designated contribution amount. And so let's say he plans on investing 3,000 per year. So our contribution amount, we're going to go to 3,000. And we're going to, again, per year is annually. 20-year investment span, 12%. So when you're doing the question is, what is the account value range? So that means there's going to be a high and a low end. So again, our high is going to be if it hits the 12% per year mark. But again, the manager warns him that if the risks don't go as planned, it could be around 2% on the low end. So all we're going to do is we're going to first find, you can do the low first or the high first, it doesn't matter, but let's first find the high since it's already plugged in. So with this 20,000 contributing 3 per year annually with 12%, after 20 years, we'll have 409,000 on the high mark. But let's change this 12% to 2%, and this will give us the low mark. And so on the low mark, 102,000, so that means our range is going to be between, so we'll say range between 102,000 to, if we change it back to 12, 409,000, roughly. So that is how you use compound interest calculators. Again, the key is just make sure you're plugging in the right stuff. So again, if it doesn't say an initial deposit, put in 0. Always look for how much they're putting in per year. Occasionally there might be a problem that's per month. Always look at the time span and then the rate of return, and always just leave this one at annually. There's no reason to do it daily or monthly. Just leave this at annually. So I hope this video helped. These are what all the questions will be similar to these ones on the quiz. So like I always end each video, have a nice day.